Hey guys, bringing you Jinrock Heroic. Hopefully this helps us. The video that you're about to watch isn't the exact strat that we're going to use, but it should help us in understanding the fight and its mechanics and give you a rough idea of what it's going to look like. Um, so, Jinrock's a pretty easy fight, only has a few mechanics, it's just executing them can be difficult. The basic idea of this fight is he throws a tank, creates a pool, and ionization. Like, ionization is the big idea of the fight. Um, when a pool drops, range get in it, get the buff, and we're basically going to get into two groups. The reason you get into two groups is to help avoid this focus lightning mechanic, just like in normal. Um, as the pool first spawns, everyone's going to have this urge to get into it. As it gets bigger, range is going to basically slowly back out and get as far away from the melee as possible, so that when that focus lightning spawns, you have more time to react and dodge it. You want to make sure you don't take extra ticks of it, otherwise it causes a lot of problems. But like I said, the big mechanic is ionization. So what ionization is basically it's a debuff. It's gonna go on every single person in the raid, and when it's dispelled, it does a lot of damage, 300k plus. I'm not 100% sure on what the exact number is. To the wearer and anyone within 4 yards of the person. And this is when it's dispelled or if it ticks off 24-second duration, so it's gonna, you can kind of plan on when the damage is coming. The trick to it is, though, if it goes off in a pool, so let's say Ilpad's standing in the pool and he dispels himself with ionization, it does a million damage to everyone else in the pool. Basically, it wipes the raid. So you have to make sure that players with the debuff, you want to get off all of them at separate times. I believe the way we're going to handle this mechanic is, like I said, you'll have ranged in the far group with melee in the short, and initially we'll have the healers go out, we'll dispel them, um, and then we'll have at like 10 seconds before it's about to wear off, we'll have everyone else with the debuff spread out, and we will dispel them as well. Basically, so we'll be in that ranged group dropping focus lightnings on one side of the pool, and then on the other side, that's where we'll use to spread everyone out and dispel ionization. Whereas if you look at this group, it's just one giant clusterfuck in the pool. So that should be a little more coordination than what you're seeing now. Now, you can, if you're certain classes, you can avoid the mechanic of ionization altogether, and this can be very helpful. These classes, basically, as your DBM timer is counting off, 3, 2, 1, as it's like at about 2 seconds before ionization comes out, if you pop Cloak, Ice Block, Deterrence, AMS, Boomkin's Symbiosis for AMS, all these spells will prevent ionization from ever going on you, and you won't have the ability, so that means you don't have to deal with it, which will help a tremendous amount having not to deal with that. Now, there are times where DBM may fuck up, where it'll be like 3, 2, and then ionization will just suddenly cast, DBM timer will be off. If this happens, make sure, don't like panic hit like Ice Block. We had this happen a few times in a raid where, when I say a few times, I'm talking like 2. Normally DBM timer's pretty good at it, where ionization goes out like 2 or 3 or 4 seconds before it says it's supposed to go out, and an Ice Block and a mage panic ice blocks and basically they dispel themselves and they're staying in the pool and it wipes the raid. So just kind of be aware that that can happen, and if it does, don't freak out. All that's going to happen is we'll just have you spread out with everyone else, and you can use that cooldown to prevent the damage in the first place. The other big thing is, so we'll be spraying out right before this storm goes off, and when it does, we will make sure we have everyone topped off. Um, this is, probably the process that's going to be the part where we have to learn. We have to get everyone through the storm entirely, and if they're not topped off, like let's say, ionization falls off, so it's going to hit like, insert 6, 7 players in the raid. You need to get them topped off before the storm, because if they don't go into the storm with full health, it's going to be really hard to heal them during the storm. As far as the best way to deal with the storm, everyone has their own way. We'll have some raid cooldowns available, but you're not going to have every defensive cooldown up for every single storm. There's going to end up probably being about 3 storms for us, and the separation between the storms is about like a minute 30, which means 2-minute defensive cooldowns aren't available. So you have to figure out how you want to manage those. That means you only get health stones for 2 of the store. Like you can either get you can get health stones for like 1 and 3 or 2. Because there's going to be 3 storms, you have to figure out which way you want to use it. So maybe you want like a defensive for the first storm and the third storm and use the health stone on the second storm, or you're going to have to like figure out what the best strategy for your personal benefit is. And the fight just continues. It just rotates, and the the idea is, oh, you lose people to the storm, and you go into each one with less and less, and it gets harder. But it's essentially the same thing. 3 times in a row, you execute it, and the fight's dead. So let's rock and roll on Tuesday, guys. Fuck. Fuck. There's no way. I played so bad. I played so bad.
Run into the electrified waters.